Floor. Madam President.
The senator from Vermont.
Thank you, Madam President. Let me congratulate the Gang of Eight who have worked on this immigration bill so assiduously. Senator Pat Leahy, the chairman of the committee, for doing a lot of good work. And there is much in this bill that I support. I support the pathway to citizenship. I support the DREAM Act. I support providing legal status to foreign workers who are working in agriculture. We have to have strong border security, and I support that effort. But let me tell you what I do not support. What I do not support is that at a time when nearly 14% of Americans do not have a full-time job, at a time when youth unemployment is somewhere around 16%, and kids from California to Maine are desperately seeking employment, I do not support a huge expansion in the guest worker program that will allow hundreds of thousands of entry-level guest workers to come into this country. And this is important for at least two reasons. You have kids all over America who are wondering how they're going to afford to be able to go to college. And many of these young people are going out looking for summer jobs, looking for part-time jobs in order to help them pay for college. And that is terribly important. And we should not pass legislation which makes it harder for young people to get jobs in order to put away a few bucks to help pay for college. And then there's another group of people, and those are young people, Madam President, who we don't talk enough about. Not everybody in America is going to college. There are millions of young people who graduate high school who want to go out and start their careers and make some money and move up the ladder. There are others who have dropped out of high school. We cannot turn our backs on those young people. They need jobs as well. And if young people, young high school graduates, for example, are unable to find entry-level jobs, how will they ever be able to develop the skills, the experience, and the confidence they need to break into the job market? And if they don't get those skills, if they don't get those jobs and that income, there is a very strong possibility that they may end up in antisocial or self-destructive activities. Right now, in street corners all over this country, there are kids who have nothing to do. And what are they doing when they stand on street corners? What they are doing is getting into drugs, they're getting into crime, they're getting into self-destructive activity. We already have too many young people in this country using drugs. We already have too many young people involved in criminal activity. As a nation, we have more people in jail than any other country on earth, including China. Let us put our young people into jobs, not into jails. As I have heard on this floor time and time again, the best anti-poverty program is a paycheck. Well, let us give the young people of this country a paycheck. Let's put them to work. Let's give them at least the entry-level jobs they need in order to earn some income today, but even more importantly, let us allow them to gain the job skills they need so that they know what an honest day's work is about and can move up the economic ladder and get better jobs in the future. Madam President, at a time when poverty in this country remains at an almost 50-year high, and when unemployment among young people is extremely high, I worry deeply that we are creating a permanent underclass, a large number of people who are poorly educated and who have limited or no job skills. This is an issue that we must address and must address now. Either we make a serious effort to find jobs for our young people now, or we're going to pay later in terms of increased crime and the cost of incarceration. Now, why is this issue of youth unemployment relevant to the debate that we are having on immigration reform? And the answer is obvious to anyone who has read the bill. This legislation, this immigration reform legislation, increases youth unemployment by bringing into this country, through the J-1 program and the H-2B program, hundreds of thousands of low-skill, entry-level workers who are taking the jobs that young Americans need. At a time when youth unemployment in this country is over 16%, and the teen unemployment rate is over 25%, many of the jobs that used to be done by young Americans are now being performed by foreign college students through the J-1 Summer Work Travel Program. Other entry-level foreign workers come into this country through the H-2B Guest Worker Program. We have heard, Madam President, a lot of discussion about high-tech workers and how they can create jobs and all that. That is an issue for another discussion. Right now, what we are talking about is hundreds of thousands of foreign workers coming into this country not to do great scientific work, not as great entrepreneurs to start businesses, not as PhD engineers, but as waiters and waitresses, kitchen help, lifeguards, front desk workers at hotels and resorts, ski instructors, cooks, chefs, chambermaids, landscapers, parking lot attendants, cashiers, security guards, and many other entry-level jobs. Does it really make sense to anyone, when so many of our kids are desperately looking for a way to earn an honest living, that we say to those kids, sorry, you've got to get to the back of the line because we're bringing in hundreds of thousands of foreign workers to do the jobs that you can do tomorrow? Madam President, the J-1 program for foreign college students is supposed to be used as a cultural exchange program, a program to bring young people into this country to learn about our customs and to support international cooperation and understanding. That is why it is administered by the State Department. And I would say to Senator Grassley, I will finish in a few moments and give the floor to you. But instead of doing that, this program has morphed, this J-1 program has morphed into a low-wage jobs program to allow corporations like McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, Disney World, Hershey's, many other major resorts around the country to replace young American workers with cheaper labor from overseas. Madam President, each and every year, companies from all over this country are hiring more than 100,000 foreign college students in low-wage jobs through the J-1 Summer Work Travel Program. Unlike other guest worker programs, the J-1 program does not even require businesses to recruit or advertise for American workers. What they can do is pay minimum wage. They don't have to advertise for American workers. And guess what? For the foreign workers, they do not have to pay Social Security tax. They don't have to pay Medicare tax. They don't have to pay unemployment tax. So essentially, we are creating a situation where it is absolutely advantageous for an employer to hire a foreign worker rather than an American worker. So, Madam President, what I have done is introduce two pieces of legislation to address this issue. Number one basically says that while I strongly support cultural programs, bring young people here from abroad, great idea, at this moment, with high unemployment, we cannot have those people competing with young Americans for a scarce number of jobs. So we eliminate the employment element of the J-1 program. And the second bill that I've said is that if we can't do that, and I hope we can, at the very least, we need a jobs program for American kids, not just a summer jobs program, but a year-long jobs program. Let us not turn our backs on kids who want to get into the labor market, want to develop a career. They need something in the summertime. They need something year-long. And we have introduced legislation to do just that.